Good evening. My name is Andrea.
My name is Cliff.
We are the owners and the directors of Seminal English for Professionals. And we are here to invite you to be with us because we have a lot of content and speaking, and we are going to speak English during all the live, the complete live. And we have two very important guests here with us. Okay, Cliff? Michelle, Ariane are here with us. Marinalva, welcome.
Hey, Michelle, long time no see.
So, people, first of all, we would like to ask you to invite people to come here, to know everything we are doing here, to know our guests, and to send us a lot of hearts because this helps us a lot. It helps Instagram to show our live to the public, okay?
We also like the hearts. They make us happy. We feel good.
Yeah, a lot of
hearts.
And
so send lots and lots of hearts.
Invite people who you think there is sense to invite them to come here, people who want to improve their English, and also people who would like to have a new proposal of learning English, of really communicate in English. So people, first of all, I would like to say about last Saturday. Last Saturday we had our public speaking workshop. It was fantastic. It is always fantastic when we do different training and we bring people to get together and also people to make network. Networking is what moves the world. So we congratulate every participant. And they were with us for 3 hours, more than 3 hours, right, Cliff? Because we were a little bit late to finish. So, and we hope everybody who sees our video, who participates in the live, can be with us in the next one. It is going to be in January.
That's going to be in January, guys. We're actually going to have 2 different options. We're going to offer one option during the week, which is going to be Monday through Thursday night. And then we're going to have an option on a Saturday. So no matter what your schedule is, you'll be able to participate. We hope you'll be able to participate.
Luis, welcome. We have Luis from the cheese house.
That's our cheese guy. If you're in Lorena, this is a non-paid sponsorship. Get cheese from Luis. Right? Note this Instagram. He has really good cheese, really good salami, frozen pasta.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. And today, as I told you in the beginning, we are going to receive 2 guests. One of them is Ariane. She works at INPE in Cachoeira Paulista. And she's the first person. The other one is Johnny. And he's going to be the second one, okay? So let's invite Ariane.
You guys might recognize Ariane as the real meteorologist that we had on in our live How to Talk About the Weather with a Real Meteorologist. So this is Ariane's second time as one of our guests. So let's invite her. There she is.
Hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
Hello, Ariane.
I'm doing well. Trying to recover from my knee surgery. I had a knee surgery on last Monday.
My God.
Yeah.
So no São Silvestre this year too.
No.
Yeah, we're all going to miss São Silvestre for injuries this year, guys. This is not good.
Really?
Next year, we're going to have to get back into it, yeah.
Both of you?
And Cliff had a backache.
Yeah.
I had a backache too.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Okay, so Ariane, we are very pleased to have you here with us, and we would like to thank you.
Just a second, if anyone has a specific question related to communication in the academic world or in the workplace, you can ask the question in the comments and we'll pass it on to Ariane, okay?
In Portuguese too, Cliff?
Go ahead, Amor,
Or
sorry.
only in English?
Oh, we're going to answer all of our questions in English. If someone asks a question in Portuguese, we'll translate it for you.
Okay. So thank you, Ariane, to accept our invitation.
Thank you for the invitation.
It's very rich to have you with us. So I'm going to ask you the first question, okay? And the first one is, why have you started studying English? And why is English important for your career?
I started studying English because English is very, very important for my career. I started to take part of an international group a couple years ago. I started in a young Earth System Scientists community that was initiated in Germany. And we started to have meetings, online meetings, and exchange of several emails per day. I worked in the outreach working group and also on this webinar, online events working group. So in the online events working group, it was really important to communicate in English because we used it to invite people to give talks. We use it to speak with people before the talks, to organize the talk. So it was really important, but I use it not to study English that time. I try to learn from my experience. And a couple years later, I was indicated to take part in an international group of experts. This group involves representatives from different countries to advise other people, other researchers around the modeling efforts in meteorology. So it was remarkable event in my life, career life, because I realized that my English was not enough for this group, and then I decided to you guys to learn real English.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what happened to you to make your English so excellent?
Yes, this group has a meeting per year, in-person meeting per year. And I took part in 2016, 17, 18, and 19 in person. And in the last 2 years, because of the pandemic, we had virtual meetings. And I confess that in the first years, it was really stressful for me because I needed to give talks from my work and from the work of my institution. I was representing INPE there. I am the Brazilian representative in this group. So it's very important. And I used it to feel that I was not prepared to do it because of my English. And then I decided to study more. And in this year, this is my fifth year in this group, and it was fantastic because my talk was very good, and of course I need to improve my English a lot, and this is why I'm continuously studying English. And I thank very much Andrea and especially Cliff for his classes, wonderful classes, because I told Cliff that He's a very good and excellent English teacher, especially in grammar. Usually people don't like grammar, but I like very much. And this year, the meeting was successful for me. I felt more
So we
comfortable.
want to know if you have any, because you've done international events, we'd like to know if you have any stories that you'd like to share about the experience, you know, experiences you had communicating in English with people from different countries.
Yeah, I have a funny story that involved my bad English. It was in 2010 when I went to the US to spend 2 months there working with a very important scientist in my field. And I remembered that in a Friday, it was on Friday, the end of the day, and he went to the office and said, Ariane, if you need something, please let me know, write me an email. And I understood that I should not write him if I needed something. And I said no. And he looked to me and asked, what? He didn't understand why I said no. I was refusing a help or a kind help for him. And after some time later, I realized that I understood wrongly. So it was a shame for me that time.
Yeah, I have heard a couple people say, oh, you only need to understand 1 or 2 words and you can get the main message. But if we don't understand those little words like can and could and would that native speakers don't pronounce, like we say them, but we make almost no noise. It's like, you can send me an email, you know? Yeah. So sometimes the key to understanding a sentence really is in having a grasp of what the structures are, right? Because native speakers don't pronounce words like could and would. We don't pronounce them. We swallow them while we're saying them. And sometimes you come away with the sentence with the opposite meaning. One of our friends, one of our students, Max, has in going through some scientific literature, she's had a couple situations like that in reading the literature for her area, that these little words that Americans and British people love to pepper sentences with, the coulds and woulds and be able to's, you know, they can really change your comprehension of the sentence. Yeah. You know, I think most students say they don't like grammar. I'm an English teacher, so I love it, right? But I think you do need to have at least a little bit of a grasp on the basics of the structure of the way people speak, you know? Like Brazilians always say that we speak backwards, like that English is backwards, right?
Let me say hello to...
But you have to be able to understand that.
Sorry,
right?
Just let me say hello to Diego. Diego is a scientist at INPE, and Ricardo Mollman is a scientist in the south, in Porto Alegre. I think he is there. If not, Ricardo, please let us know. Yeah, Cliff, I had a lot of experience, especially with people from other countries like India, China, Japan, Europeans and Americans, North Americans. For me, it's more difficult to understand British English than American. But as I work with a lot of people that work in Europe, my mixture of accents and words are a bit of British, a bit of American, I think. I have no identity yet in English, I think. But Indian...
Andrea and I really stress the idea of we teach international English. We don't teach British or American English because you can't run around the world with just British or just American English. You know, you have to understand international English.
Yeah, it's for me it's more difficult to understand the English from people from India or from African countries.
Yeah, I think we have a combination when we're dealing with sub-Saharan Africa. You have some habits that are grammar habits from their languages, in addition to the accents. And then with Indians, we see interference from their native languages. And I say native because many Indians are technically, oh, hey, Bill, many Indians are technically native speakers, but the grammar of Indian English is not exactly the same as standard British English or standard American English. So in addition to the weird accent, their mannerisms in speaking are a little bit different.
Yeah, sometimes, some months ago, I did a translation on YouTube, a simultaneous translation with some people from Africa, South Africa in reality. And it was very, very good because it was a consul. So she was very kind to me, and but the pronunciation is completely different from both American and British English. And I
Yes.
also had the opportunity, when I worked with multinationals, I had the opportunity to talk to a lot of people from India. It is really complicated. But that's why I say that we need to work with international English, because if we work with just a kind of pronunciation, people can't understand. This is then
The challenge.
not can't understand. Yes, the challenge to understand the other nationalities speaking English.
Yes.
Could you, while we've got you here, could you give us a little bit of a window into IMPI? If a person's interested in meteorology or interested in getting into that area, what type of research is interesting now? What kind of things are people studying in your area?
Yeah, I work with meteorology, but IMPI is a broad institute. There are geophysics, physics, engineering, and other disciplines at IMPI. But in meteorology, you can work with modeling, numerical modeling, observations, remote sensing. Remote sensing is a tool that is used to observe the Earth from space. Remote sensing, observations, and weather forecast. There are specialists at IMPI that can advise people in different areas of meteorology. But I work with numerical modeling, model evaluation, and air quality forecast. And usually we don't think about the quality of the air that we breathe. Yeah. For example, I was spoken with a friend of mine yesterday, because I saw her with his son walking in Peixoto. No, they were not walking. They were by bike during the day, when cars are moving across the streets, and a lot of cars in Peixoto. And I told her that that time, that is usually the time that people are free, that people are going out from their offices, from work, and they want to relax and go out to exercise, to jogging, to drive bike. But that time is terrible, because there are more cars and you are breathing more pollution. And instead of helping your health, you are breathing polluted air with bad compounds in the atmosphere. So in the long term, in more time, you will not be healthy anymore, because there is a cumulative process involving.
I don't think we've had this happen in Brazil yet, but I saw a piece of international news recently of a city that told the people not to go outside because of air quality. So, I mean, I don't believe that happens to us in Brazil yet, but
not because
I know that it's a possibility.
Yeah, for example, São Paulo has the environmental company of the state of São Paulo, that's CETESB. CETESB is a very organized and very good agency to monitor and manage air quality in the state of São Paulo. But in Brazil, we consider by law and standard that is not good for health, because the health organization, the World Health Organization, suggests a different standard to consider for air quality that is more, how do I say, restrictive, yes, compared with the Brazilian law. So we need to improve our law to obey the suggestion from the World Health Organization in order to have a healthier air quality. So usually,
and I think that in this particular time, we all need to worry about our respiratory health, right? With the pandemic still continuing, we really do need to pay a little bit of attention to that.
And the environmental agency monitors every day the conditions of air quality in different stations around São Paulo. And if you look that in the website, you can see that even, for example, in São Paulo city, that is a huge city and there are a lot of industries and cars, you can see good quality of air. And you ask yourself, how can São Paulo be in a good standard with a lot of cars like that?
Yeah, there's air quality monitors on the street in São Paulo. If anyone who's not from São Paulo or doesn't know the city, like for an American, I love that, like, because there's these kind of digital signs that show the air quality in many of the main streets in São Paulo. It always made me feel good that they were green. I didn't think to question why why they say it's good.
And sometimes the monitoring shows not good quality of air, but it's rare if you compare the full year of data. So we need to improve our standards to monitor better the air. And there you told about COVID, and I remembered one case of a death in the south that a friend of my uncle, she stayed in the hospital for more than 30 days because of COVID, and she improved her health and went home. And the family gave a barbecue to celebrate her health, but she breathed the smoke of the barbecue, and she died. Yeah, the smoke of the barbecue. There are compounds called PM.
Volatile organic compounds, right?
Yeah, the PM is the particulate matter. That is the size of the particulate is so tiny, around 40 times tiny than the how do I say hair?
A hair.
Yeah. And it enters in the lung and deeply in the lung, and people get sick because of this kind of compound.
And you have no way to get rid of it, right? There's no way for our bodies to get rid of it. Well, Ariane, thank you so much for your kind presence today. We always love hearing your insights about science. We really appreciate your company tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
I will be up to
Take care of that knee.
Yeah, I will be up to the end if you want to invite me again to finish with Johnny. It would be very nice.
Hi, Johnny.
Hi. Good evening.
If he's arriving here.
Hello, guy.
Good to see you.
Look at that, teleportation.
Yeah, perfect.
All right. So this is our second guest, guys. If you want to send out lots of hearts, as I've said before, and please invite your friends to join us. Our second guest is Johnny. He works at Lenzi Group. You are a project manager, correct? Johnny?
I'm a project controller.
Project controller.
Yes. Perfect.
And we asked Ariane a few minutes ago how to get into that career. So I want to repeat the question for you. What advice would you give people who are interested in that career?
How can I say? I think that Brazil, we have an interesting phrase here that is the country of the future. It's an very old phrase, but it means a lot, right? In this moment, it's special, right? That we have this currency, right? Is one how can I say? It's one interesting moment because our currency will create a very productive moment for a foreign company invest here. And I saw that since the beginning of my career in the 90s, right? When I saw many investors coming to Brazil in that moment, maybe with the currency around R$2 per dollar, in that moment was not too attractive as we have today, around near 6. So these opportunities, right, arrive here every year, right? And sometimes I was prepared just because it was possible to understand what was the business coming to here, what was let's say in my language here, the project of investment, right? So we can see different countries coming here, since the Asians, right, with the Middle East, Europeans started to arrive here as never I saw before since the 90s, right? And I started just because I was how can I say, in love with rock music, right, in the 80s, right? And started very early listening in a public school, right, in my state, right, that is Rio Grande do Sul, here in Brazil. And I started to study in that moment just to sing and to maybe play. I'm not a good music player, but play with the friends, and in that moment was very interesting. But when I started in the market and the business world, right, I saw that okay, to have these started when I was, I don't know, 11, 12, to listening and to reading the albums, right, from Aha, from New Order band, I'm a big fan, and I saw that okay. I remember that I was working with in corporations in that moment, as a technician very early in my career, right? Studying in the university. And I remember that I was invited for a meeting with German investor. If I'm not wrong, was a pilot of the Lufthansa, but good investor in that moment, right? And he had very limited capacity to talk in Portuguese, right? So I remember that he started to try to understand some points in Portuguese. And I remember that, okay, I was maybe 20, 21. I remember that requested some points, what you want, right? What's your question here? And the guy started to talk with me and the directors and the CEO of that company was not able to speak English in that moment. And in that moment, I started to have this, how can I say, I am related with the technical areas of the companies, right? But I had the opportunity to participate as a translator, technical translator, let's say in this way, right? With this German person, investor, right? I think that was 94, 96. I don't remember exactly when, but I remember that, okay, it was an opportunity, right? Because the business was not prepared to have this how can I say, this interface with a foreign investor, right? And was interesting. After that, many opportunities that I had was related with and I believe that my capacity in English is very limited, right? Compared with a native speaker, right? But even with my limited capacity for this communication, let's say in this way, right? I saw that, okay, this can open many large doors. And in 2000, after that, in 2005, 2006, I had the opportunity to work with very important consultant for very large projects in Brazil. We are talking about investments near of $2-3 billion. Today is around 15 billion reais, more than that. And my point was, okay, this guy will support with some technical, let's say, subjects, but pretty sure that he can talk with this consultant that Richard McCrane is a friend of mine today, and he's from North Carolina, right? South Carolina, sorry. And we started to have dinner together, and I was supporting him in Brazil for many different activities, since translations, even a simple translation. I has to take a taxi, right, or to go to the restaurant during the dinner. So, and in this moment, I had the opportunity to learn a lot of this consultant, right, about the pulp market, the industry market, large projects, this relation with the investors. So I'm not sure if I'm presenting opportunities that I had just because I have my technical skills, right? But not only that, but these opportunities were related with the capacity of communication in English. And sometimes
I think that in most businesses now, what they call soft skills or human skills are really highly related to people's promotions and earning capacities. So I don't think that your story is atypical. I think people who are good communicators normally have better opportunities, you know. I think that people being able to engage and build relationships is a key part in high-level business.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the point that you touched right now is related to communications, that the most important one. let's think that my English today is much better than I had in the past. So, okay, how I was in that situation, in that level of English in the past, and having this interfaces, this meetings, this how I would say this communication is the right word, as you presented right now, because sometimes, right, even if you don't have the perfect language, right, it's possible to have communication since you are not shy. So I think that's the first point for somebody that's thinking about that, is that it's necessary to start, even with
If you're not
errors.
good.
Yes, but you need to start, right? You need to try to how can I say, to okay, I will put courage in this challenge and try that. And it's incredible, but I can say that almost everybody talk with me since the beginning, even now that I know that I need to continue improving my capacity of communication in English, right? All these people normally is very, very, how can I say, comprehensive, very friendly in to understand that we have maybe more than one language, right? More than two, more than three, right? And that we are trying to create this bond through this communication. So I like to think about one person that I know, that is one Cuban engineer, right? Chemical engineer. He can communicate in 6 languages: Spanish, Russian, Swedish, English, Portuguese, and Italian. And when these guys talk is here in Brazil, right? He can use English or maybe Spanish, but he tried to use Portuguese hard, and we can understand very clear. I can how can I say, use the shoes of this situation and say, okay, if I can understand this Portuguese, that is not the Portuguese that we can use every day with our family in the cell phone, but it's possible to understand what's happening, right? What's the message, right? If you have courage, you can go to the English and start with that, right? And go, and obviously you need to invest, right? Start is the first step, you need to continue. But it's important that the person will see that, okay, we have opportunities here, right? I saw minutes ago that another friend of mine, she now is a CFO Americas of one chemical company, right? And he can communicate very well in English. She's special on that, right? And I can see that now we Brazilians, we have very good skills for communication, for technical skills, for soft skills, right? And today we are in a global condition into working all the countries around the world, right? In special, I think that we Brazilians from all the regions, we can adapt our capacity to understand different situations, even with northern culture like European or Asian culture that is not too far off our culture. We can go through these opportunities because we are very flexible, different of other cultures that have maybe these cultures have the more not flexible conditions to understand that, okay, I need to adapt myself to talk with an Asian, or maybe one guy from Africa or Middle East, right? So in the end of the day, I think that we have incredible opportunities here in Brazil, right? As I started, we will see much more investments coming from Europe and United States because we have today a very positive condition, a positive currency, right? And for this to attract these types of investments, Brazil still has a large country with good capacity to provide. We have good infrastructure. Even even if you think about our politicians and the problems that we can list, maybe 30, 40 large problems in Brazil. When we see a business model, right, that will present the opportunities around the world to invest, when we are talking about some industries, when we need to have this infrastructure, the access to many different countries, Brazil is one of the best places in the world today, right, to invest. Today I'm working for the Lansing Group, right? When they started the current investment here in Brazil, that's around $1.3 billion, right? It's around 6 billion reais, right? They started a very large study with the opportunities of investment around the world. And in this case, our competing countries, let's say, for this investment, we had China, United States, Russia, Eastern Europe, right? So, and Brazil was the best option. Argentina, Mexico, right? These different countries, right, had very good opportunities, but Brazil was the best one to receive this type of investments. And believe me, the current pipeline of investments, mainly in the industrial investments, I'm talking that each investment of this size is around $1 to $2 billion, right? And for the next 2 years, we are talking about 6 investments in this size here in Brazil, maybe more. But today, official, right, running, starting the feasibility of these investments, we're talking about 6 investments. So we are talking about around $12 billion arriving here, right? It's more than 60 billion reais, right, arriving here, right? And believe me, as this investment is foreign investment, they will need people that will communicate with these countries, with the headquarters, right? That will have this local experience, local culture, to have this interface, right? To translate not only the words, but the meaning sometimes of the things that we have here. So I can say that, okay, we have a good problem because we will need a lot of people, right, that will communicate and will capitalize, let's say, these opportunities here. So more or less my points here.
Yeah, I think an advantage to Brazilian employees in the international market is people have a good bias towards Brazilian workers. You know, the reputation of Brazilians outside of Brazil as workers is good. You know, good scientists, reliable workers, hard workers. I think some cultures might have to fight against the negative stereotype, you know. But Brazilians, everybody kind of loves Brazil, you know. Doesn't matter where you go, the United States, Europe, Middle East, Sub-Saharan Africa, Asia, people say, oh, it's a Brazilian. People get happy to see you, you know. So I think it's, you know, there's a lot of opportunity for Brazilians around the world.
Yeah, and not only that, right? I was talking with an engineering company director today, right? And we were discussing about Asia, right? The opportunities in Asia for some areas of the industry, right? And she told me that Brazil, we have a advantage, let's say this way, because all of culture of engineering, especially, right, is a Western culture. So everybody likes to talk about the cost of India or China to provide some services, but they have a problem because the standards are very different of the Western standards. And here in Brazil, we work with the American standard, the European standard. That's our standard here. The Brazilian regulation, the ABNT, right, is based on the American and European standard. So we don't need to translate engineering documents. We don't need to have the tropicalization, that's a term, right, sometimes necessary when you hire a company from India, right? I remember in 2009, 2010 that I was working with a Chinese company, right? And this Chinese company presented all the design of the investment, right? And we saw many problems because the culture of design of China is different of the Western design. I remember that some dot lines in Chinese means something that is exactly the opposite in the Western design of engineering. So this created a lot of confusion during the construction of that mill, right? Was a thermal plant in that moment. So basically, we have this advantage here, even if we are working in home office, right? That was this conversation today that this director told me that, okay, we are really creating a hub in Brazil to support global projects providing engineering in good quality, right? And with this currency, and especially this moment, right, we have very, very competitive price for this work. So if the currency is creating problem for the gasoline or for the fuel or many other points, on the other hand, we can say that, okay, we have this opportunity here, how to use this capacity that we have here with excellent manpower and very competitive price, right?
But do you think people are prepared to take this kind of jobs?
I think that I can talk in details about engineering, maybe the IT guys too, right? Let's say I have my brother-in-law that is a programmer, right? And he's providing development for many different companies. And if I'm not wrong, today he is working for a company from that is providing software for abroad, right? So yes, I believe that we can provide engineering, maybe IT. I'm not an IT expert, but I can say that engineering, I'm pretty sure that we can provide services for many different countries around the world. I have no doubts about this. I was working for a chemical company 3 years ago, and I remember that in that moment, this company started to see that, okay, we can provide the same electrical engineers as in Sweden, as in Netherlands, right? But one Swedish engineer was costing around 150 euros per hour, and a Brazilian engineer less than 40. So providing the same quality of. So they started to require us here. In that moment, I was required to support Europe and United States as a project controller. I was qualified.
Yeah, I think the education, the higher education here in Brazil for engineering is on par with the American university system. You know, I think in a general sense, engineers get a good education in Brazil. You know, and I would say like the high-level universities in Brazil are comparable to American high-level universities. The mid-level universities in Brazil are comparable to mid-level American universities. So I think engineering is definitely a field that the higher education system has, you know, kind of favors us because we're good at it. Brazilians are good at engineering, you know.
So
In my university, University of Delaware, in the master's degree program, you'd be shocked how many Brazilians you see, you know, getting master's degrees and doctorates. Lots of Brazilians in the program.
Exactly. So and again, when you're talking about mechanical engineer, most part of our standards here are the American standards. So the students today, they are reading very well English, right? Maybe not creating this communication, but they can read the standards and they can apply here and use that. The biggest part of the digitalization softwares for 3D modeling, for the concept that we have in engineer as the digital twin, right? That's a term that represents that, okay, you have your project, your industry here, right? Solid industry, and you have the digital twin of that, right? To be possible to expand, to use this capacity for connect the systems to improve the process inside. So all of these softwares, right, will have English interface. So we have much more people that is capable to have this interface in English. But sometimes, as I started in the beginning, the position will be, okay, you have courage to start to talk in English. You need to start, right? You see that when you start to think, to start to have this misunderstanding, this wrong translations, but when you start to automatically will create this capacity to see, okay, I'm not using the best one, maybe I need to improve that, I need to have my grammar corrections, I need to have my orthographic corrections, and automatically you will start to improve your English, right? So
Usually Brazilians
But I
are
think,
afraid
Ariane, wasn't your question about the capacity of the Brazilian labor force to meet the English language need?
No,
Like, do we have enough scientists and engineers that speak English well enough?
If I think,
Yeah.
no, I don't think we have enough.
no,
I don't think. Yeah, no. For
I
example,
remember seeing a report about COVID even, that one of the things that held up some vaccines here in Brazil was that all the reports about the vaccines were written in English, and our Ministry of Health didn't have qualified employees to translate the documents.
É, it was on Folha de São Paulo.
Yeah, okay, but I think this is a matter of management in the government. Okay, but if you think about it in academic level, for example, usually people don't know English, don't have the opportunity to study English, and they are not selected to occupy the best positions. For example, in this case of the government, I think if they were interested to hire people, qualified people, they could find. But I don't know why they didn't do it. But
the problem is not hiring the qualified people, right?
But in my case, for example, I remember a few people used to have financial conditions to pay for English courses, to travel abroad, to improve English. my case was that I didn't have economic situation, good economic situation to study English for my whole life. And I studied a bit sometimes and stopped and came back. I can now I can afford for it, but it was not true in the past. But one thing that Johnny said, it's really, really true, and I really recommend people that are listeners is to, okay, you can have a fear, you can be afraid to start, but you should start, because if you start, you will be more and more confident. And I have a funny story, because I remember that I subscribed to a congress in Peru that was in English, and I sent 2 papers there. And I was selected because I had 2 papers to present in a oral presentation and a poster presentation. And I didn't know almost nothing about English, and I wrote down all the words that I should read during the presentation, and unfortunately I didn't read, because the color of the slide was not good to read, and it was a shame. Okay, but okay, for me it was a good experience. I'm alive. I didn't have any problem with this. But sometimes people don't feel confident to fight with the fear, to fight with when they don't succeed. So I think people should think more about it and see with a different way the bad and the good situations.
And it's one interesting point is that I was discussing with Cliff months ago, right, about that. Normally, I think that 95% of my communication in English, right, were with non-English speakers. People from Italy, like Sweden, Netherlands, Germany, Austria, Chile, and many other, France, many other countries. So I remember one meeting with a GE manager, right, about the Petrobras P56 in the 2008, I think 2009. And I remember that we were discussing about quantities of engineering numbers, right? And I remember that this manager presented some number very high to me, because we're number pounds, right? And okay, but it's too high, right? I remember that in that moment I asked to this Italian guy that, okay, let's try maybe Italian, right? You're talking about milli or cento. And it told me cent. Oh, so it's not thousand, it's hundreds, right? Oh yes, hundreds. So in that moment was okay. I'm Portuguese, I'm Brazilian, right? Talking English. This Italian guy talking English, and okay, it's quite normal. These types of confusion, these mistakes, right? And for us, okay, no problems. Let's continue. Okay, now it's hundreds of tons, right? No problems. But let's say that, okay, today I was in a meeting with Austrians, Brazilians, Argentinians, and let's say, though this one was with this different English, right? And we, during all the mornings, since the beginning of the morning until the lunch, right? Everybody trying to communicate. I'm talking about 2, 3, 4 syllables, 5 syllables three vice presidents, and many directors, right? Talking in English with many problems, right? But everybody was defining very important points about these companies, about the investments. And sometimes, okay, the point was, okay, everybody was speaking English as a second language at least, right? Many of these let's say these executives, right? They can communicate in Portuguese, in English, in Italian, in Spanish, in German, right? So it's not only one language. So we need to think that, okay, I need to understand that I will not start speaking a perfect English. I need to invest. It's necessary to continue, right, to have this investment. But you can start and you can have this interface, even if not a perfect moment, a perfect language. It's possible to start, right? It's necessary, and you see that, okay, many important decisions will be defined in different people and not only native speakers in English. And another point was that I concluded in September a free course from Harvard, right? In a program of Harvard. And these courses, they had students from different countries. If I'm not wrong, I saw around 70 countries and more than 600 students. So let's think, whoa, different cultures, everybody reading, talking, and exchanging knowledge, right, in English. So you have many different opportunities, not only for your work, but through that we can access the best opportunities in different areas, right? And everybody's talking English, right? I remember that a few years ago, the Dutch universities defined that, okay, no more Dutch in the universities of Netherlands, right? They start to say, okay, all the universities in the Netherlands will talk only in English and not Dutch anymore. And this was a very important decision because now they can receive students from different countries, and everybody will follow the universities. So it's possible to understand how big are the opportunities that we have in our hands today, right here in Brazil, with this global connection that we have in this beginning of the 21st century. So yes, invest in English is really invest. It's not a study. It's not about how many time you're how can I say, spending, but you're investing, because pretty sure that these will qualify you for the best opportunities that we have today, and that, in my point of view, right, as a person that is connected with these international investments arriving here, that will arrive here, and this will create good opportunities to the Brazilian that will be able to communicate in English, right? In my point of view.
And it's important to remember, Johnny, that is a continuous improvement, because English, you learn English, but it's not forever. If you don't practice, you lose in the way. I read a research that the person told that if you study 3 years of English and you stop for 3 months, you lose 1 year for each 3 months. So it's why you need to be always studying and practicing communication, not only study and stop. There's no end, I think.
No, and you need to understand that as I was talking about today, you need to have interface with people from India, from China, from Europe, speaking English. So it's necessary, it's required to improve your English, right? In order to have these different accents, United States accent, sometimes in the south of the United States, people probably, it was very hard to understand. So it's necessary to be practicing, right, in order to be possible to have these bounds, right, to have these connections. I remember that one of the worst I had in 2019 from one engineer from India, right, that was very hard to understand the accent. So you need to be very connected, very, how can I say, very prepared to understand two of the three professors of Harvard. One, I think that was from Pakistan, another one from India, right? And many different words, not only accent, but words too, right? That in India today, I think that they have around near 1 billion people speaking English with Indian accent, with Indian interpretation of the words, and you will have pretty sure interface with these people. So it's important to practice, to be prepared not only for American and English people talking English, right? But for this around the world, that many different cultures will speak in English with you to have this interface, right?
Yeah, I'd like to advertise a project that I take part in Cruzeiro. Cruzeiro is near Cachoeira Paulista. In the Presbyterian Church of Cruzeiro. I'm giving English classes, but basic English classes for free, and people are engaging and people are studying every Sunday after our Sunday school in the church. So if there is someone interested to help this project, or if you are basics and if you live in Cruzeiro, if you are interested to join us, please let me know.
How many students, Ariane?
Around 10.
Oh.
10.
Yeah.
There's no better way to learn to like improve your English than to become an English teacher.
Yeah.
Your English gets better. It has to. Right. That's even true for us.
Yeah.
Even true for Americans, for British people. Our English gets better when we become teachers.
Yeah, I want
Listen, guys,
to
thank
invite you. I want to invite you for a
to go talk to your students and terrify them. Guys, thank you so much for your participation tonight. We really, really appreciate it. We love having you guys take part in our lives, and we'd love to have you guys back to talk to us another day. So you're always welcome to come back.
And we would like to invite people who are here on live with us to know our work, to know our proposal here, because here we have English for communication, especially for professional people. So people, if you want to know us better, just let us know that. Okay?
with the best.
Good night, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to
Bye-bye.
see you.
Thanks. Good night.